And okay.
Welcome to Bucketphoria. We are back. It is a basketball podcast presented by the Mafia Sports Report and Sports Dynasty. We got something interesting to talk about today. The Western Conference, of course, like always, because that's just the hottest part of the NBA right now. So we're going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, who's won 8 of their last 10 games, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, and they are looking like they are taking control of the 6th seed very soon, which is insane to think about. Alex brought it to my attention. I knew they were winning, but to really look at the standings to see that they're a game from 6 is crazy. So, yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I'm thinking, okay, it might be fun to be a rap for them. You know, they wanted to show everybody like what they might be able to do.
Right.
Come next year, they're gonna come at everybody, and the others are gonna join the Victor sweepstakes.
Right.
Like I said, they won 8 in the last 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
They lost to Phoenix. Didn't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Okay.
In that game.
Got it.
That was the game where Durant got injured.
Oh, okay. That was the Durant game. I mean, in the warm-ups.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I guess the Lakers too. They didn't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's true. They did not have
and
Sanchez.
Lakers didn't have AD, so it kind of goes both ways.
That's true.
And the Raptors game blew George, which is bad. But in the last 10, beat the Jazz twice. Beat Golden State.
Yeah.
Beat New Orleans. Beat San Antonio. Beat Brooklyn. Beat Phoenix. And had Kawhi Leonard in the torture chamber.
Yeah, they had him in jail. Yeah, that was
in the final position, along with a lot of questionable calls, and also lost Paul George in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Lost Terrence Mann because he got ejected.
He did get ejected in that game.
And but at the end of the day, got the win. They play the Clippers again, and again at Los Angeles tonight. But it's like because I'm pretty sure they're the youngest team in the league.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
They don't have the number 2 overall pick.
No.
They don't have Kendrick Williams, who's a good hustle player for them, and yet they're still finding ways to win games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, every time I watch this team play, it seems like all their young guys. I think like Williams is pretty good too. They just know how. They just good shot makers. Go Buffalo Bills.
Shout out Joey Hatch. Commentate, go Buffalo Bills.
All right. Good luck to your team next year, Joey.
And what do you want to win the NBA championship?
Who do we want to win NBA championship?
Yeah.
We want the same team to win the championship.
We want the Lakers to win the championship.
We want the Lakers to win.
But if I were to go like
of an NBA fan,
of an NBA fan, for me, it would be the Nuggets.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because they like had such bad luck the past few years with health and whatnot, and now that they're finally healthy, they actually finally get the ring. I feel like they argument they should have been guys. So it's like
they definitely had misfortune since that trade deadline when they decided to get Aaron Gordon, where we were very high on them, and that would be nice for them to win it. I guess the team I would want as an NBA fan. That's interesting. That's a good question. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. That sounds like a cliche, but
is it because they're the best team?
It's because they're the best team, and it's because I believe they have the best player in the NBA, and I love when
dominance is rewarded.
Dominance. Yeah, I love dominance in the NBA. I just feel like it's always should be a part. It's always been a part of history,
right?
And I love when all-time greats ascend to their next level. So I would love for Giannis, I would love for him to further cement his legend by winning another championship in this era. I would love to see that happen.
You know what's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
This year might be the first year that no team wins 60 games.
That is true. I was looking at that.
The only team that has a chance to win 60 games this year is Milwaukee.
Is the Bucks.
And you have to finish 8-2 to do that, which is possible.
Which is very possible, yeah.
But I'm about to say, it's very possible we might have a season where nobody wins 60 games.
It's just such a balance.
Are you a Celtics fan?
Oh, you a Celtics fan? Oh, Boston. Hey man, your team looks real good this year too. I mean,
a little scary as of late though, because they haven't been playing up to par, but they blew Sacramento recently. And listen, they have a good chance as anybody. Let's be real here.
Yeah. They have a shot just as anybody else. We just gotta go out there and see what's gonna happen. But they're definitely an elite team. They're definitely a contender for sure. let's just see what happens. I mean, like Alex was just saying, we're not gonna have a team that's going to win 60 games. This is such a balanced league that in the end, when it all comes down to it, we truly don't know what's gonna happen. I can't like the only like I have a slight feeling of like a Milwaukee like dominance run, but for the most part, I don't really know what's gonna happen.
And let's say, and if Milwaukee gets the win, cool. I love Giannis.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Giannis. Again, I love greatness. Like, listen, I'll put it like this: I'm a fan of LeBron, and I still appreciate Golden State's greatness. So that just goes to show how much I appreciate just history of the game. I'm just a student of the game. I love this game, and I just love when the greats are great.
Right. Back to talking about.
Good question, Joey.
Back to Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane though, because and here's the question I always asked myself with them: is Mark Dangle a good coach?
That was, I think,
it was like the Brett Brown effect, because because before it's like since you're like in these tanking situations, you never knew.
You didn't know. Yeah, I think about a month ago, I think me and you were watching the game, and you was like, I don't know if he's a good coach or not, and I was like, I don't know either.
I think I finally got my answer.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I think he's pretty good, because if he's able to get a bunch of young guys right to buy into what he believes, and they are the number 8 seed right now, the 36.
Yeah,
1-8 the last 10, still trying to fight for the playoffs, even despite that. To me, that just says a lot to the coaches that they built for that team.
Right, and it says a lot about the mentality of this team, where they could have very easily just said, listen, let's load up for next year, try to get Victor, or just try to get a top player in the draft and, have Chet with them next season. But they said, no, we're a good team right now. And they think that they're as good as anyone right now. And I love that competitiveness. And I've seen the games where they didn't have Shy, and those guys fought.
They're scrappy, yeah.
Yeah, they're very scrappy. So for that coach to have a bunch of young guys to lock in and buy into what they want to do, it's very impressive, because
it's very impressive. Bill Russell has a lot of championship rings. If we're going on titles, he might be the best basketball player to. It depends on how you view things. I don't want to. When I enter the greatest of all time conversation, I don't like to really criticize what anyone says, because everyone views the game differently. But I guess it depends on how you view it.
It's 100% subjective. On what depends on what your criteria is.
Yeah, it depends.
If you value winning,
right,
then there you go.
Then if you value winning, then he's your guy. But if you want to go into more context, like, for example, I'll kind of play devil's advocate here. It was in a league where I don't think they had like 10 teams.
Very little.
It was they had below 15 teams in his era, right? I think that's fair enough to say, right? They had below 15 teams in his era. The players in there it wasn't as skilled as the players even in like the 80s or 90s or above.
Because again,
years gone. So, and he had kind of like the best players in the league in his team. It was just like them and the Lakers,
right?
But I would say at the end of the day, I do think no matter what, he is one of the greatest players to ever live, without question. But in that argument, I mean, it depends on how you view the game, man. If you think that's your guy, if you think that's the greatest, then that's fine. That's fine. He is a winner. So
exactly. No,
yeah.
I'm about to say, me personally, I don't think it's a great Celtic of all time at all.
I don't think so.
I think it's Larry Bird.
I agree with that. I think it's Larry Bird.
But to say like Bill Russell, I'm about to say, if you want to say Bill Russell to go, I understand why.
Yeah, I definitely understand it. I mean, pure dominance. He's one of the greatest defenders ever. So I definitely understand why. But Alex and I view the game in a different way. So we and him will have different answers as well as everyone else. But people might have the same answer. Will have the same answer as you. So I always think it's a fun conversation.
Right.
It's a fun conversation.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah. What's up?
Per Basketball Reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a thing called for once it comes to playoff chances, right?
Oh, percentages?
Yeah. You know what? The Thunder has a 66% chance to make the playoffs, according to that.
Wow. So they really think they're going to make it.
Right.
Now, I have one question. Does this just mean playoffs in general, meaning you get to the playoffs, you get past the play-in, and you're in the playoffs?
I'm assuming yes.
You're assuming. Okay. All right. Cool. Listen. They're playing great, man. Like you just said, they're very scrappy. These guys. There's no egos in this team. There's a lot of young talent here. And it feels at times when I watch the teams play, it feels like they're like 12 deep, bro. Like it really feels like they have endless options when I watch this team play. Like the only thing I could say about this team is that they don't have size. And that's because their number 2 overall pick,
Who's like 7'2",
who's like 7'2", is not there. So they have a solution to that. He's just not there at the moment. But besides that, I can't really. I mean, they could shoot in the perimeter. They could defend well. They could score kind of any way you want. Especially when you got Shy in there.
But because you got players like Shea Gilgeous is your best player. Obviously, you got Josh Giddey as your second-year player. Obviously, he's gotten better. Lou Dort for specialist.
Right.
Again, he went 4 for 8 from 3 in that last game. But guess what? He locked the quad in that game when he's down.
That's right. And that's what you take with him. There's gonna be days he's gonna be over. There's gonna be days where he's gonna be like.
I forgot. I think it was against OKC. He got like not good because against Brooklyn. He got Damian 30. He's like
right. He is one of the better role players of this league.
Jalen Williams, the lottery pick version of
him. He's the one
he's
I always
really good.
Sometimes he goes on runs on his own.
Second round Jalen Williams, is pretty good as well.
Exactly.
Isaiah Show's a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Wiggins is a solid young player, and they're still missing Trey Man, Mr. Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Mr. Chet Hogan, obviously, and they don't have what's his name here, Terrence Williams, and yet they're still finding ways to win games no matter what.
This is the scary part of this team that they have. Like, it's not only that it's depth, but it's depth that is young. So it just feels like endless options. And again, they're gonna get Chet again next year. It is just ridiculous, man. And I think Pokusevski's having his best year because he's playing the most time.
I think it's unfair that LeBron James didn't even play one game, and they were already comparing him to Michael Jordan. What do you mean by didn't play?
Oh, you mean coming into the draft?
Yeah. I think that's what you meant.
Coming into the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they do it.
It was unfair to. I would say it was unfair to him because they gave him unrealistic expectations.
He met those unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, he met those. You could make an argument that he surpassed the expectations. What I would say is it was an 18-year-old kid, and for people to just say you're gonna be the next Michael Jordan or you're gonna be better than Michael Jordan is very unfair.
They said that about Kobe.
They did, but I mean, he's one of the only players I've ever seen where he lived up to the hype. Like it's very rare to see someone live up to the hype.
Yeah, because you gotta think about this. Anthony Davis was very hyped coming out of Kentucky.
Yep,
he didn't meet the expectations.
He did not.
He's a great player though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, very good player. One of the best. Yeah, he's like a top, like a top 100 player of all time already.
Yeah. Right. Did he make those?
Did he make the 75?
I never sure he did. Yeah.
Oh, he did. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Look, he made the 7. He's one of the 75 greatest players ever. So, but people really thought he would be better than that.
And like Zion, right? He still got to talk. Don't get me wrong. He's like, because you're 4,
right?
And you could say injuries played a part, which makes sense because we see him play. He's a really good player, but
yeah, he's an all NBA level player when he is available.
Exactly, but again, it's still not meeting the hype. And Andrew Wiggins, the perfect one, damn good player. Is a key piece you need in a championship team.
Yep.
He not Maple Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
He
was anointed like the next Kobe, I think, or something like that. Right?
No, Maple Jordan.
Maple Jordan. Okay, got you.
Maple Mamba, I think, was RJ Barrett. He's another example.
Okay.
And said his name already. Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo. Okay.
He's supposed to be the next Magic Johnson. He's not that. He's a good player you need for a championship team.
Ben Simmons.
And, yeah. He's actually you could say his name one actually.
Yeah, he was the next LeBron.
He was the next LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah, he was looked at as the next LeBron, and look what happened with him. So, that's one of his more impressive feats is that LeBron is really, especially with the expectations that he had, and for him to live up to it is just like it's unbelievable. Because I always say this, I always try to speak objectively as possible in the all-time thing, and I would say that he is bare minimum a top 5 player of all time. I feel like
I don't say that. I think he's bare minimum top 2.
I think
either 1 or 2.
If I go around people, I would be like, "There's no way you could deny. You can't name me 5 better than him.
You can't.
You can't. So for him to live up to that is just a feat in itself.
I was saying, I don't think you can name 2 players better than him.
I don't think so either. But you know how it is, man.
and LeBron isn't my favorite player of all time.
He's not.
I love LeBron. Don't get me wrong, but he's not my favorite player of all time. And I'm saying this. So it's like,
yeah. So that's what's very unique about him.
Right. Exactly. But anyways, yeah, back to Oklahoma City. I'm asking this question though. Do you think they get in?
Get in the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually at this point in time I feel very confident about it, especially with So you take a look at everything, right? You take a look at all these teams. You got Clippers have a problem in their own right.
Right.
They got their problem with Paul George going down, and we're gonna see these two teams are playing tonight, right? Which is a huge game. You got I feel like they are in the same level as Minnesota, right? I feel like they're very comparable, and I feel like that's another team where I feel confident they're going to make the playoffs. I feel like the teams that are under them, with probably the only team I could think of is it depends what happens with the Lakers, but I can't see the teams under them surpassing them.
Right.
I just can't see. I just think that those two, OKC is at that level right now. And you're not safe nowhere against them. You could be in the road. I mean, you could be home and they could come to your house and take you down.
Yeah, it's LeBron to score in his breaking night.
Exactly. So
because they got the win in that game.
I would say I think this team makes the playoffs. I think so. I think playing or not, even if they get to the play-in, I still think that they
for context
make it.
Here's the last 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers tonight.
Okay.
Lakers tomorrow. And Rowe got to have a game for the Lakers.
Yeah, that's tough.
Versus this will serve as a tiebreaker as to who wins the series.
Got it.
Portland. That's the end of the road trip.
Okay.
They play Charlotte and Detroit back-to-back at home.
Very favorable for OKC.
They go to Indiana.
Okay.
Phoenix goes to their house. They go to Golden State and Utah. And caps off the season against the Memphis Grizzlies at the season.
Ooh, their last 3 games are tough.
At their own house. OKC.
Their last 3 games are tough. So they got to win those the games that you're supposed to. So that Indiana,
the Charlotte and Detroit game especially, they got to win.
You got to win those.
And I'll go for
Portland. Of course.
I'll Portland there too.
Yeah, Portland. Yeah, without question. So those 4 games.
Indiana is tough because they're also playing for the play-in. They're tough. Like
that might be one of the biggest games of the season right there.
Like they're tough. The Lakers, I said they're literally hanging on by a thread. It feels like.
Yep.
Utah too. Like those games against the Lakers, the Pacers, and the Jazz. Those two are your swing games.
Lakers, Pacers, Jazz. Yes.
Because the Warriors, you're at Golden State. I don't think you're gonna win. I mean, they do. Cool, go win.
That would be a very impressive.
You know, after the Clippers in there too, because again they don't got Paul George. So
yeah, that would be a very impressive win if they could go into Golden State.
I don't expect them to be Phoenix. They can. I just don't expect them to.
Yeah,
especially since they've just beat them recently.
Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna get that get back.
I don't expect them to be Memphis, especially since they look like they reformed.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's kind of about it.
That's kind of about it. Every other game, like they should expect to win that.
Right.
They should expect
to
win it.
Games like the Clippers, Lakers, Pacers, and Jazz. Those are like the 4 games to me. Is like,
damn, they end the season with 2 road games too.
No, they played the Grizzlies at their house.
Oh, they play. Okay.
The Jazz and Warriors.
Jazz and Warriors are
on the road though.
It's a tough end to the season. It's a very tough end, but I think this team already shown us that they could do this.
The only bad thing. Here's the crazy about this. They do have more back-to-back.
Who's the back-to-back? Oh, it's today. It's today and then tomorrow, which is the Lakers.
Okay, I like that. From back-to-back then.
Okay.
They think the Hornets are Pistons.
They gotta win that.
Those 1 year back-to-backs that you'll take,
and they're young. So back-to-back should.
Yeah, they're the youngest team in the league. You have young legs.
So back-to-back shouldn't really. It shouldn't really bother them too much.
Right.
Michael Jordan's manager changed the game for superstars in the NBA forever for what he yeah, I know who you're talking about. I forgot his name, but he's the guy that changed his body for him to compete against the Pistons.
Right,
yeah. Yeah, he definitely did pave the way. He definitely did pave the way for in terms of conditioning to come back stronger against whatever you've seen during the past season. So that's always good. I love things like that paves the way for the game to make it what it is today. So that's always awesome. That's why I don't really in terms of grades, I don't really dislike any grades. I try to appreciate every grade as much as possible because I know they have pieces of paving the way to this beautiful game that we have today.
Right.
And the greats now are going to do the same thing for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years as well.
That's what makes the NBA so great. They're always evolving.
Right. Exactly. It's constant evolution. So yeah, especially credit to the trainers too. So they definitely play a big part in that.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to OKC.
Shout out. Yeah. This is fun. This is fun to watch. It's definitely fun to watch.
Again, and this is what Adam Silver wanted.
This is what Adam Silver wanted for sure.
And teams like them, Orlando, Indiana, Utah, those like teams specifically because they weren't expected to do anything, especially in the bottom of the barrel.
Yep.
And they're the ones that's still scratching and clawing. Like Like, I don't care. We're still gonna find a way to win games no matter what.
Hence why, like Alex, I'll go back to what Alex said previously. We might not get to win 60 games this year. It just feels like every game is tough. It just feels like you can't sleep on no opponents this year. Everyone can get you.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this league so much fun. When there's balance, it's nothing better, man. It's nothing better. It's constant. It feels like it's always good games. So this is great. This is a good year. This is definitely a good year of basketball.
Yes, it is. So moving on, I want to talk about this real quick. Shout out to Carl Anthony Towns coming back, by the way.
Welcome back.
Carl Towns and John Morant came back yesterday. Minnesota finds another way to win despite Anthony Edwards getting injured. About beating the Hawks with Cat having 22 in his debut. Welcome back.
Yeah, his first day back. That's not bad.
Nas Reed and Jaden McDaniels 26 and 25 respectively.
Nas Reed, he's really a good player. He is a really good role player.
Like he's a great offensive big. And John Morant coming off the bench, which he had a mask on, which I was
wondering, do you know what happened to him?
No.
Because I thought that incident happened. I didn't know he got hurt along the way.
Me too. I was like, I just got jumped and I don't know about it. And John Morant had 17 off the bench.
Yeah, it was. I seen the highlights yesterday of his highlight of him, and I'm like, this match is so random. Like, what's going on?
Oh, there's one thing I do want to talk about.
Okay.
This incident that happened last night. So.
The Mavericks game.
Yes.
Got it.
So, I don't remember what quarter it was. I don't remember third quarter, fourth quarter. It was second half. I can tell you.
Right.
So there was an off timeout, right? They say originally. Apparently, they originally said that was ball and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Golden State was inbounding it, right? Because they changed the call to say Golden State ball right now, right?
Right.
I don't know if the referee messed up and didn't tell them, or they just didn't listen. But something didn't get relayed.
I think Mark Cuban said that they thought it was their ball.
No, Dallas thought it was their ball.
Yeah, Dallas thought it was their ball.
And that led to Kevin Looney getting the easiest basket he will ever get in his whole entire NBA career.
It did.
And this sucked for them because I'm too.
So it mattered.
So that mattered.
What I'll say is,
even though the last 3 they hit, that was because they after they hit, that was a garbage time.
Right. So there's a couple things here. One, this Dallas Mavericks team is having a type of seasons where I could kind of see them doing something like this. As crazy as that sounds, right? Two, the refs has been an all-time worst this year, so I can see them doing that too. Which I'm so confused about the situation. I never thought. Do you remember when Kobe played the Hornets and something similar to that happened? Not as bad, but so the Charlotte Hornets were guarding on their side of the court. And Kobe and the inbound just ran.
That's when he hit the dagger, right?
Yeah,
that's what they
dagger.
That's back when they were doing one
to win the game, right?
I remember because he was down by 30 and came back and won.
Right.
He soloed them up.
Right. So
I
never thought I would see something worse than that.
At least
they
were trying to guard the inbound though. Kobe just ran past them.
Right. They were guarding.
They just busted the coverage.
But they were defending backwards.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But they just busted the coverage.
Yeah, but
that at least happens.
Right.
I've never seen this before a day in my life.
Never in my life. I've never in my life seen something like this before.
And again, like I said, because Dallas, ever since the trade deadline, has had such a shit season to the point that they are borderline. It's not even borderline for me. I just can't stand watching them play.
No,
they're unwatchable.
They're a bad basketball team.
Even with Luka, Kyrie there, they're
because when Luka's there, he got to drag him in his back.
And then, even with them both there, it's like they could score, cool, but it's like their offense is not sustainable.
I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Kidd resigns on this team.
Oh no, this team.
I feel like as the days go by, he grows more hatred for this organization.
Oh, this organization got a ring, by the way.
It did, and he coached them last year. He had a very impressive year. He had them playing some good defense, but it just feels like I watch these interviews, and it's just the frustration in his face.
He just looks sick and
tired of it. I didn't think Jason Kidd was this kind of coach, but he just doesn't. He just feels like he has very little tolerance for incompetence, and it feels like he's just completely done with this team.
I
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel him, bro, because what the fuck is that?
Nah, I feel him too, especially with the expectations he probably had going in.
Because you got to think of it like this: your team, because you got Reggie Bullock and the underperforming to start the season. That didn't help
From the start, yeah.
You traded for Kyrie, which is the antithesis of what you like, because you like defense and he doesn't do that. Great player, don't get me wrong, but scheme fit just doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jason Kidd didn't co-sign that because he loves defense. He definitely does.
Hence why I'm pretty sure he loves Jalen Brunson so much. He's a pit bull.
He is a pit. He is.
Like, you know what would hurt him? A younger Kyle Lowry.
A young Kyle Lowry would be phenomenal.
But he can't have that.
Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I don't. That's a very interesting take because I can't. I don't even think there's players like a young Kyle Lowry in this league.
There's not.
There's just not.
No, because Kyle Lowry is like one of a kind.
Yeah, he is kind of. Yeah,
like Drew Holiday's like close thing we got to him.
Yeah, he's the closest thing, and it's still different because Kyle Lowry is still like a floor general, which kind of Drew Holiday hasn't ascended to that level.
Even he has got much better than that playmaking. That playmaking he did. But it's insane though because it's like you got all that. This feels like the season from hell for the Mavericks this year. Like it feels like everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
And so didn't Jason Kidd took shots at Luka this season? Didn't he?
A few times. A few times.
I really think he's gonna resign for this. I think he's gonna quit. I definitely think he's gonna quit. He might just be completely done.
I feel like it's probably a problem. But I think his blame isn't that high though. It's like
definitely not.
I think his blame is low, but I think he's part of his problem, but he's not. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much that you can do with this roster.
Yeah, there's only so
and I thought this was gonna be good this year. As well as I thought many people thought this was gonna be good this year.
Based on last year, I mean, they were like a top 10 defense last year.
And I mean, let me look how Jalen Brunson playing this year. So
that dude, that boy is proven to everybody that he has arrived.
not onto the ref side of things about the situation. Hold on, before we switch that on. Oh, Tommy, I missed you.
Fire Casey.
I missed
Tommy
that.
Was good, man.
I missed that, by the way.
Fire Casey. Got Michael Jordan endorsements, Nike sneakers, McDonald's, and all other kinds. Nothing that had been done like that until it definitely. Yeah. So I think
man on top of the world is like year one.
Yeah, a lot of greats like to say is that Bird and Magic like saved the league and Michael Jordan made it global.
Right.
So yeah, he definitely again one of the greats who paved the way in the game in such a level that he made it in a global scale. So he will always be him. You know, Jordan will always be him. And
the NBA really took off in the 80s and 90s. That's when it
really took off. So that definitely paved the way for, that's the thing. I'm glad you said that. That was Joey, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad, not a lot of people says things like that. It's always about, everyone goes quick to like him being the greatest or him having like 6 rings or him being better because everyone wants to compare. No one wants to like really appreciate anything. Right. I never really see anybody say something like that, which is so true. He really, all this money that these players get and all these endorsements he's really the one that really kind of started that. And he's kind of the reason why this is happening today. So credit to Jordan on that. And thank you, Joey, for saying something like that. I really appreciate that. But what you said
now to the ref side of things.
Oh, the refs. Whew.
So we got to the point, right? So I don't know if you talked about this, but like a few weeks ago, Fred VanVleet had this thing with the refs, right? He took the fine, right? And pretty much said Ben Taylor is one of the worst officials ever. Mm-hmm. I can't stand him, this, that, and third, and all that. He only got demoted.
That's crazy.
He only got demoted.
I just found out about this like about an hour ago.
I found out about it a few days ago. I'm like, oh, I mean, good. like good. Players should do things like that more often.
So is it like, okay, so he's not fired.
No, he's not the lead official anymore.
He's just not okay. So what he get like he gets like low tier games or something like
probably,
so like probably. he'll probably officiate like Detroit versus Houston.
Probably. I don't know how the semantics work with stuff like that.
Okay, got you.
But we had one of the worst technical fouls I've seen in my life. 2 nights ago with the Clippers and Thunder game where Kawhi Leonard got technical foul because he didn't get the call. Normal NBA player stuff. And then Terrence Mann got mad that Kawhi Leonard got called for technical and pretty much gave him 2 technicals immediately after that.
Right.
And the funny thing about that is in the second half, according to Kawhi, he said the referee apologized to me.
Kawhi wouldn't lie. I'm sure that happened.
But what's crazy though is that he apologized to him was about to say that's cool. You ejected a whole person for that.
Yeah, but Asari is not good enough for a whole game lost.
For 3 technical free throws,
Uh-huh.
an ejection of a player who's very important to his man, and
Yeah, he is.
And again, they lost by 1. Well, Lou Dort locked them up.
How could you have an itch to give Kawhi Leonard a tag?
Because he want to be the one. He want to be the nuanced person who gave him a technical foul.
He wanted to be the guy.
He want to be the guy.
Yeah,
I don't know who wants to be that guy.
Yeah, there's definitely a bad spot of this season. Is definitely just the performance of these refs, and it's interesting. I actually like that a player speaking out on the ref's performance actually gets looked into.
Right.
So that was interesting. That he got the fine. I'm sure because whatever rules they had, he broke it, so he had to get fined no matter what. But it was interesting that they actually took note of what he said and evaluated Ben Taylor and saw, okay, this guy, he's just not doing his thing, and they demoted him. I feel like things like that should happen more often because, man, we've had so many games this year where officiating has ruined the game. And if you know me, I hate giving that excuse that a team lost because of the refs. It's just me, my opinion. I just hate it. I love to just say, you just got to find a way to win. But this season has just been ridiculous with the calls, man. It's just been crazy. So this was needed. This was definitely needed for sure.
This was definitely needed.
Yeah.
But, and again, I don't know if people just didn't communicate properly and they just didn't know that it was supposed to be Golden State's ball. Or maybe they misread the hand signals. I'm not sure.
Something happened, man.
Something happened.
I mean, Mark Cuban, he took it to the next level. And
they protested the loss.
And they protested.
But I have a question, though. Let's say that they're in the right?
Uh-huh.
Isn't the loss still going to be there?
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
what I'm thinking. Like,
what you going to do? You can have Golden State and Dallas as an go to empty gym, 5-minute overtime because they lost by 2. Go ahead. That's going to happen?
I feel like if something's going to happen, that has to be like the most that's going to happen because you can't come out here and talk about, oh, the game don't count. Like those two teams, they need
those games.
Yeah, they need that. They need that. So they can't, because I feel like there was a year because there was a year. I think the Spurs were playing the Nuggets one year. This doesn't have nothing to do with ref, but is just talking about in terms of just canceling a game where I think something happened to the Spurs arena. I think there was like smoke in the arena.
They postponed the game.
Oh, they both got wins?
They postponed it.
Oh, they postponed it, but it never got played.
That's crazy.
That game never got played. So that year,
did they get paid in Mexico?
I don't think so.
No, that game got paid because I don't think they both played 82 games. I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, you know. So I think the San Antonio arena messed up.
The only thing I can think of that the game that just didn't get paid at all is when Indiana was supposed to play Boston late in the 2012-13 season.
Yeah,
but the Boston that bombing happened for the marathon.
Oh, right.
They didn't play. And they didn't play that game because of it.
Okay, well,
and they both finished with 81 games.
I feel like that year. That sounds right though. They might have played in Mexico, but I don't know why. I kind of feel like that year they both played 81 games. Denver and San Antonio.
They didn't because I feel like I remember that.
What year was it? Do you remember what year?
2020, I think.
Was it that soon? I feel like it was farther back.
Probably was. I don't know. I just know San Antonio was a complete trash yet.
Right.
And Denver was good.
But I mean that game is needed, especially in this course of the season. That like, what are we gonna?
My biggest thing is that it's not gonna make a difference. They took the L. They will take the L, and it's gonna stay that way.
Yeah, they just gotta take. Yeah, I mean,
in my honest opinion, I feel like I'm leaning towards it's Dallas' fault.
Listen,
even though I could see a world with referees just messed them and didn't tell them anything.
That's what I'm saying. I can see both.
See that.
I could definitely see both.
But
because the way their performance this year is just ridiculous.
Like, but Dallas is so messed up in the head that I could see that being a problem too.
They both are. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know whose fault it is because they're both equally as bad.
Oh yeah, no, they suck.
Yeah, they're
horrible.
Garbage. So it's just insane, bro.
Like at this point, I think you're just waiting for this. If you're American, you're just waiting for the season to end.
Yeah, because I really I think what was it last week's show where we talked about this team? No, it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks.
We talked about this team so damn much. It feels like
it
blends together.
We specifically talked about this team,
and they keep giving us reason to
potentially not making the play-in.
It might have been last week. It was last week.
It was last week.
Because that's when Kyrie came back and Cleveland hit that shot to beat LA.
Right. So I feel even stronger about this team not making the playoffs. And it's crazy to think that Luka Doncic might not make the playoffs. It's just insane. But it's just bad, man. And they seem to just never recover from losing Jalen Brunson. They just never recovered.
Because again, if they did, they would have never traded for Kyrie.
Right.
This never would have happened.
Like it's just
they will be a top 4 seed. They still had him.
I agree with it because he makes them better in just both ends. He makes them better in every aspect of the game. Like you could ISO him, you could move the ball with him. He plays great defense. He could shoot the ball too. They lost the gem. They lost out. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right?
I remember when they lost Steve Nash.
Huh?
Remember when they lost Steve Nash in 2004?
I remember.
This is looking like this is looking like this is bringing back bad memories for them.
And and that's the worst. And this is the worst player to get an expiring contract, man. It just goes to show. Again, we said this last week, but it goes to show how desperate Mark Cuban is. Because remember, this is a league where you could get out, and Luka Doncic is a superstar. So if he wants to, he could probably make his way out this team, and that would just be devastating for the Dallas Mavericks organization.
Oh, that's right if that happens.
Yeah, it's just back to the dark ages. And it's actually dark ages that I've never once seen before with that team.
Yeah,
they might be back.
They were dumb trash at a point.
Yeah.
But let's get Luka.
Exactly.
So it was fine.
They might be trash for like years to come.
I mean, it depends.
Well, it depends. They are up.
With how talented the league is, you can get.
That's true. And for the most part,
even though I'm trying to say anybody will be as good. Luka is built different.
Yeah,
but
Luka is insane. But that is the second all-time great international player that they've ever got. So maybe they're just good at scouting international talent.
It's possible,
right? Because they literally got 2 players who were like in their primes were like top 5, top 10 players in the league. Twice. So they did it twice. So you can't say Dirk was a fluke because then they got Luka. And they wanted him. They traded for him. They're like,
exactly.
All right, we want him. So I guess they have the eye for it, but it's still to lose a player of that magnitude is hard to recover, man.
No,
it took Cleveland to now to recover from LeBron.
In the defense,
mm-hmm.
They did get LeBron back.
They did get him back
in that stretch.
That's true. They did get him back, but
after
I'll put
I'll say this though.
I'll put it like this: OKC is still technically rebuilding from Kevin Durant. Still, how many years it's been? What's what?
It's 2016.
So it's 2016. Still, it's 2023. Still, they're not contenders. So
they tried to band-aid. The reason why it took them so long is because they tried to band-aid things to see if it worked.
Yeah, they tried to salvage
George and Melo thing.
They tried to do the Russ show. They tried to make the Russ.
They tried to bet so they didn't start to rebuild until 2020. That's when they really started to rebuild. And 2023, they're the 7th. They're the AC. I'm sorry, AC in the
and a game away from
not being playing at all and being in the playoffs.
Right.
So either way, I think they did it pretty well. They did it after they lost to LeBron second time.
Cleveland did a phenomenal job.
Got Sexton, right? Excuse me. Using as a trade piece later, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Darius Garland, who's your point guard currently.
Right.
You got all curled up to one slipper, but it is what it is. You traded for Jared Allen in a steal.
That was a heist.
Because Houston didn't want him for some reason.
That was just them making big plays.
And then you got Evan Mobley off draft, and then you used Connor Sexton, and you also traded nothing for Larry Marketing.
Right.
Made him see high play for you, and you got traded both of them, or almost somebody else. I don't remember. Oh, and the draft pick you got and they almost made the playoffs to get Donovan Mitchell.
Right. It's a process. It's a process to try to get back to contention when you lose a top player in the league. So Luka's he's all-time. He's all-time player. This is who he's going to be, or maybe even better, unless he gets hurt for the rest of his career.
Right.
So when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the greatest players ever.
Hell, he took the heel.
Huh?
After they lost LeBron, they never really were a contender. There was that one year, the last year they had Wade before he retired for 2 years and came back to Miami.
Right.
About a year and a half before he went to Miami. And then, by the way, that's what I said on purpose, by the way.
Right.
We don't acknowledge the other places. If they started Chris Bosh, they're going to get Cleveland a thing.
Right. Exactly. And could you imagine if they never got Jimmy Butler?
Right.
they would have still been trying to.
They made the finals and can make the argument if they didn't get pretty badly injured last season. They had twice.
They probably could have. Yeah. Right. So, but it's still it's a process and it's difficult. So
some teams
just
don't recover from.
Yeah, some teams just don't recover. Look how long it took the Kings.
I was going to say,
look how long it took them to beat
their playoff drought. Almost graduated high school.
That's insane to think about. What was it, like 2004?
2006 was the last
2006. 2006 was the last time, and they were trying. They were trying to draft players, to try to trade this, trade that.
They kept messing up.
They kept messing up. They just kept messing up.
Same thing in Minnesota. Same thing with those Kevin Garnett.
Minnesota.
They never truly recover. I guess it's kind of safe now, but they're not contenders right now either.
I would still say they haven't recovered yet. Because Kevin Garnett took them to the conference finals,
Yeah, I was like, they haven't been close to that.
And they haven't been close. Yeah. So they're in the cups of recovering, but it's still not there.
No, you just need and to continue his trajectory because
he's gonna be a top player. So, and it's looking like McDaniels he's
really good.
Yeah, he's really good too. But it's
still like you did that Rudy Gobert trade, but
it was stupid. It was stupid.
Because I swear, if you kept the team out last year,
they low key might be like
you'd be like a 4 seed, 5th seed. Right?
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say
thank you because we wouldn't have Russell, Vanderbilt, or Beasley because of it. So I appreciate that for that. But
that's very true. Yeah, they probably be like where Sacramento's at, maybe like
around there, yeah,
fighting with Sacramento. But
yeah, because they would have us Walker Kessler.
Yeah, they would.
And he's playing better than him right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. But it's tough. It's tough to rebuild. It's tough to make a contending team. Look, it took the Bucks a minute too. Now I'm thinking about it. The Bucks too took them a minute. So
you talking about when they lost Ray Allen on them, right?
Yeah, when they lost Ray Allen, it took them a minute. Look how long that took.
It literally took until they got Giannis.
It took until they got Giannis
in 2019.
Right, and when they had him, they still had to. When they had him, they still had to develop him into what he is now.
Right.
Because even when he was getting better, they were still struggling. They were still losing in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Now that he is who he is now, this is where they want it to be. But it's just tough, man. It was actually a long time. Yeah, what was that, like 2002? 2001 or something like that?
Around,
it's been that long.
2002 when they traded him to Seattle. I think it's
So it's been like since 2002. The Bucks they were trying. Look, they finally got them when they won that championship.
That team hasn't recovered.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago never recovered.
Chicago. They haven't recovered since Derrick Rose.
Because you got the Jordan thing right. They sucked for a few years. Then they were like that's tier 2, tier 3 teams. Like they were good, but not great with the Kirk Henry like golden days.
Yeah, they were like Indiana-ish.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
like they might win a playoff series, but they're not really gonna go to the conference finals.
Exactly.
But they're on that tier. Then they got Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
quick contenders again, and then all went away in the snap.
And they've been recovering, and they really tried last year.
And they tried.
It's tried.
Crazy because if he still was healthy,
he would have been one of the. He would have been an all-75 player.
No, I meant not Derrick Rose.
Are you talking about Ball?
Menzo, yeah.
Yeah, they would have been the top team in the East because when it's just undeniable.
Everything I said about the Bulls for like the past year would be irrelevant at this point.
Exactly, because it's just undeniable. When he was healthy, they would literally look like one of the best teams in the league. They just were. I think they were like a top 3 seed.
They're going to All-Star break. They were the number 1 seed.
They were the number 1 seed. Look, they were really good, but then he got hurt, so. They still haven't recovered from that.
Is that probably permanently too?
Probably permanently, yeah. So, which is it's so unfortunate for him, but they're still trying to recover from Derrick Rose. They're still.
So again, I understand why Mark Cuban went panic mode and traded for Luka.
Exactly.
I don't know if for Luka, traded for Kyrie because you don't want to lose a player like that because some teams, like you said, with some of the few examples we gave you, they just don't recover from this ever.
They just don't recover.
Or if they do it, it takes like sometimes you can do it as fast as the Cavaliers and Thunder did. It took like 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
When you find it, like embrace the rebuild, rather.
Right.
But it can take you like the Kings or Wolves, or the Bulls currently, where it just doesn't stick.
Exactly.
Whether it be because of luck or be because you just messed up. A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, a lot of things can happen. So it's tough, but it's interesting to see. I don't know why I don't feel like I don't know what to think. Like I don't know what to think of Luka in terms of like wanting to leave. Like I just don't know enough.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not obviously a player like Embiid, a player like
I definitely
Bradley
don't,
Beal with Damian Lillard. Like
right. I definitely don't get those vibes from him, but
you don't get who's a good example? James Harden, Kyrie Irving type vibes from him.
Yes,
you get the who's someone who just requested a trade because they felt like the timelines didn't match.
Play recently.
Yeah, I feel like just because the timelines like just didn't match.
That's not Durant or Kyrie
or Harden. Or
Harden. I'm not sure.
I'm struggling to think about it.
I'm not sure. Are you sure there was a player
that they went out because it's like I appreciate that you're tough for me, but like you're going this direction, I'm going this direction. Like let's.
You talking about? Was it Donovan Mitchell?
I guess he would be the closest one to it.
Yeah, it was Donovan. Yeah, I think it would. Yeah,
but even though him and Gobert both said that they were willing to try to make it work again,
it did. They did, but I could see him more like a Donovan Mitchell. I could see him more like a Donovan Mitchell.
Mitchell Murray didn't ask for a trade. He just they just let him know, say, "Hey, we're gonna trade you because we want you to do your own thing."
Exactly. I could see him more around that realm, but I definitely don't see him more around the grinding over and over and over and over, like the stubborn grind where like Dame and Beal, like you said, and Embiid is at. Like those three guys, they're not demanding trades. Like they're just not.
Even though at this point, if all three of them,
especially Dame, bro.
Like, especially Dame, at this point, it's like yo, bro. They're not gonna boo you.
Like at this,
you get traded. Trust me, they can understand.
And at this point, it's like they probably should trade him for their own benefit.
Like as a matter of fact, I got a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an NBA thing. It's gonna be like the Lions with Matthew Stafford.
Okay. That's a good one. That is a really, really, really good one.
Like
very similar.
Yeah.
That's
I think how he'll treat. Like listen.
Yeah.
Like and listen, and they might, and if he goes off and wins ring without, how much they'll be OD happy fan.
Yeah, I'm sure Mavericks. Yeah, they would adore it because he's been legendary in his time in Dallas so far.
And he's not asking for a trade for like another 2 years. So I think you're fine with that.
That's true.
But you gotta be careful. Again, you have to be careful. You can't just rush into trades like that game for Kyrie Irving.
That was panic.
That was pure panic.
That was panic.
That Porzingis trade, I understand the idea of it, just didn't work. But I understood the idea of it.
If Porzingis playing that team the way he played in Washington
or New York,
or New York, he was phenomenal there too. It would have worked. You know, they would have been really good. But it was. I would say that was a good try.
No,
that was.
I understood. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it just didn't.
And it happens. Same thing with the Bulls and the Nikola Vucevic. I understood it.
Right.
It just didn't work.
And I think I recently found out that which is it was funny because it's such a weird pairing. But DeRozan and Vucevic always wanted to play with each other.
Yeah, I remember reading that
like that's so weird, but okay.
I mean, I'm cool with it. Yeah, boys. That's
right.
That's what it is. I'm just saying, it's just weird to me.
It is very weird, but again, they tried. They did. There was just this flicker of light where things looked so bright in Chicago, and it just like went out in a heartbeat.
Yep, because I don't know what is with them with point guards, but it would be Jay Williams, Derek was not Lonzo.
That's true. Jay Williams, he had the car accident, the motorcycle accident. Derrick Rose with his knees, and Lonzo Ball again with his
like I don't know what it's been since the Jordan era that
they don't get
point guards. It's just been bad luck more than anything.
They can't get point guards.
The only stable point guard you had was Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah, the only one.
He's the only stable one you had.
That's
good.
Right. That's a very interesting thing to look at.
Yeah. So
they lost Jimmy Butler.
They lost Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
That's pretty much like about it.
Yeah, they didn't have that much talent in that team.
They didn't. I was like, Ben Gordon was cool, but he was going to let walk.
Exactly.
Even though Ben Gordon's my goal.
Yeah, that was the team that didn't have much talent.
It was like Boston fans know about Ben Gordon.
Yeah, Boston know about him.
It was also 7-seed Bulls because of that.
Exactly, but yeah, it's just tough. The rebuild process is not easy. Man.
No, it's something that you just patience is the number one thing you gotta have when it comes to rebuilds.
Yeah,
even though that's not rebuild a team, but it's an avenue you don't want to go back into after you have someone like Luka Doncic and you always gonna look back. And I don't know. And the Cavaliers got lucky. LeBron went back, but
They got very lucky.
that you always look back at like if only we gave him this, and this.
Right.
Like I know the GM was like, if only we pulled the trigger and gave him Mark Stoudemire.
That still killed me to this day.
Which I'll say this though, he did start getting injured like a year or two later, so maybe they made that bullet, but that was the.
Might have.
But it's very possible you could have won a ring.
They could have got Paul George too.
Oh yeah, I forgot that did happen. Yeah, that was going to his last season, right? And then they got
2018.
Isaiah Thomas with a questionable broken hip.
Yep. 2018. Instead of Isaiah Thomas, could have been Paul George.
You're right. I forgot that happened.
Yeah, could have been Paul George. But yeah,
they literally knocked it down on draft night.
On draft night, yep. That one had me in shambles. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But credit to OKC. I mean, they have plenty of patience, bro.
But
they have plenty.
They knew what they had a plan, and they stuck by it. And look, they're ripping Memphis now earlier than we thought they're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, Memphis is ahead of schedule. Correct.
Memphis ahead of schedule. Sacramento too, because Sacramento they wanted
way ahead.
they wanted a more win now approach, but I didn't think it'll be this good. But
they are way ahead of schedule.
But Dallas, you gotta find a way. You gotta find a way to get yourself out of this hole. But it's not looking good for them. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I feel like the free agent class isn't looking too good. When Jaylen Brown's contract ends?
Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
I'll have to check that, but that is a very interesting thing that you said, because that is a team that they did put him in the trade block. And so
because I think he's getting to that point of, I don't want to be here anymore.
No, I can see it. I mean,
because he was underappreciated. I think he was underappreciated.
I mean, he got put in the trade block. He literally got offered in the trade for Kevin Durant.
Mind you, they just made the finals.
And they just made the finals.
They just beat the hell out of Kevin Durant too.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. Like, why would that made no sense to me. That made no sense to me. You swept him, right? Right. Okay. He is better than. I mean, he's better than him, but you swept him. You already have, and you made the finals. You were 2 games away from a championship. You were up 2-1. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? You just lost. Like, it happens. You lost the finals. That's okay. It happens to a whole bunch of people. But you made the finals, and you were up in the series. So
you're not an old team.
And you're not an old team.
Like Phoenix, all they had is
right.
Booker and a bunch of vets.
Exactly. So it's real. It's
I mean, that was a lot. That tried to be some money on place. I'm lying to myself.
It's realistic to think that, you know, maybe in a couple years we can get back here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not far-fetched to think that they could get back this year.
Right.
So I don't know why they did that. I don't know what. Well, I don't know. That's pretty much Brad Stevens would do that. Pretty much. That was Brad Stevens with that, but
he drafted it too.
He drafted it. It'd be your own man's. It'd be your own people.
It'd be your own people, man.
So I could. That's interesting that you mentioned that. I could see a world where he's not there anymore. And if he's not there anymore,
I'm saying, and if next couple of years, if
that could break Boston,
Dallas,
yeah. If he's not
that will solve your problem,
right?
Tenfold. Let's say if you still somehow keep that Jason Kidd, right? One of the best two-way players in the league. He could give you 25 points a game.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, and Luka won't have to do it anywhere near as much on the offense end.
Exactly. He don't gotta, break his whole body apart.
Because Kyrie helps that, but he can't defend. Jaylen Brown could defend.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown could defend anybody. And if it's interesting with Boston too, because if you lose Brown, you definitely have a chance to be losing Tatum, because that's his boy.
He loves him. They grew up together.
Exactly.
Especially in this team.
Right. So in a blink of an eye, man. In a blink of an eye, it could be over.
That's like, yeah, that was smart. Why did they do that?
I don't know why they did that, but that's always in the back. Because if I was Jaylen Brown, that would be in the back of my head. They could trade me any moment. It don't matter what I do for these guys. Like, it don't matter. Like, there's times where I feel like you're better than Jason Tatum, and they just threw him in the trade block.
You've been saying that for like years.
I've been saying that for years.
I never agreed with it, but I understood why.
I literally been saying
Jaylen Brown was their best player in the finals.
He was. That's what I'm saying. He was. Like, people are starting to take note of it. Like, now, like, I see people like mention it sometimes.
That what?
Like, there's people that believe that he's better than him.
Oh, now? Okay.
Yeah, there's people that believe that now.
Because I think it's clear as ever that Tatum's better than him now.
Right.
But even though not this Jaylen Brown, I just think Tatum's that good. That damn good.
Right. Yeah, Tatum he took a supreme leap.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah.
But I mean, they could. I think that's what Joey's. That's his boy.
Yeah,
Right?
it's not fair. Yeah.
Yeah, they could very well. Who knows? I mean, they could do it. They stack. They have a squad. Michael Brogdon might win 6th Man of the Year. Like, he was actually a gem for them.
He was.
He was a gem for them.
But I'm saying right now, those time's ticking.
Time's ticking.
Our Horford is not a young man.
Yeah, and they clearly he's pivotal for them.
He's pivotal.
Yeah, he's pivotal.
Horford is not a young man. Grant Williams like to do some very stupid things.
He has a lot of confidence in that team now because he be pulling up threes like if he's him.
He's been acting like Dylan Brooks, but without the
cancer.
Yeah, without the cancer.
Without the cancer. That's pretty much it. Like he really be thinking he's him. Like I'm like, why you he pulling up threes in transition?
He lost in a few games.
He has, yeah.
Like against Cleveland. Against Cleveland. I remember that last game we getting played.
I'm gonna make him.
Both of them beat those against Milwaukee.
That's like the NBA version of Rex Grossman. No, not Rex Grossman. From Seattle, Hasselbeck. Yeah, that's that version.
I was the Milwaukee game too. He got ripped, but I think it was by Drew.
Yeah, by Drew. I don't know why he just Drew. He's literally the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA.
You know who said that? Kevin Durant.
Okay, Kevin Durant said that?
Yes.
This is the truth.
So I try to model. So when you're not KD,
you're not KD.
Not KD.
Mm-hmm.
And KD also said himself as best defender in the league.
That is the best defender in the league, man. The perimeter defender. He's ridiculous. His strength is insane. Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
It's crazy. No one's really concerned for defensive player of the year. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I think he kind of got even though he never got the award, I feel like he low key got you know how LeBron got kind of revoked from winning MVPs.
That's crazy.
It's kind of like they don't want to give him one because he is it's clear, bro. He is the best perimeter defender in the league. He literally won a championship ripping people. Devin Booker know about that.
Chris Paul know about that.
Chris Paul know about that. He literally it's championship level, bro. He won a championship.
Definitely is
because of that.
You know what's crazy to me? It would be crazy to me that they literally traded for him and year one they won the title.
That's for real. They traded for him and they won.
They won the title. And they would have went back to back and Chris Middleton never got hurt.
Exactly. Yeah, they probably would have. Yeah. Nah, they probably. It's going to that point where they're right now, where it looks like because Chris Middleton, I think he's back to the starting lineup.
He's getting
back, and it looks, and now the gap is forming little by little. The gap is there. And it's like, oh my goodness, Milwaukee's about to run through everybody. It literally feels like it's up to Boston. That's what it feels like.
It's up to Boston, and I don't like this team, but I'm gonna say it's up to Philly too, because
yeah.
Philly does match up decently well.
They match up decently, yeah, they do. Yeah, with Melton and
they match up decently well against them.
Well, it's because of the past. It's because of the past is why we don't believe in them.
The only way Philly is gonna play Milwaukee to me though is if Milwaukee somehow goes down, they play the second round though, or they don't play Boston at all.
Or if they don't play
Boston. Because I will say to my grave, if they play Boston, they lose in 5
They're going to lose, yeah.
At most.
Yeah, they literally bully them.
Boston bullies them for fun.
They bully them, yeah.
They can't. I don't know what it is.
They cannot mess with them.
They just can't beat them.
They can't hang with them. Yeah, they can't hang with them at all.
Since 2017, they were favored in the second round against Boston because they lost their 2 best players and they still beat them in 5 games. They beat the hell out of them.
They did. Yeah, that's just, matchups are just...
Matchups are a bitch. And I always say, matchups are a bitch.
Matchups are a bitch.
Because sometimes, you might be better than a team talent-wise, but they're matched up so well against you, just lose.
Exactly.
Ask the Osaka Mavericks about that. When they play Golden State, they know.
They definitely know. Ask, Toronto as a whole, as an organization.
Because LeBron.
2018 is just, the perfect year.
I don't know why Canada doesn't hate him.
Canada low-key should. Should hate him. They literally
no, he disrespected them.
It's literally if Superman is approached by Kryptonite. It's literally they were so many levels above as a basketball team, better than them, and they got swept. Can't even buy a game.
I called it too. I'm not
gonna lie, I couldn't. I thought they would win because there's no way LeBron loses to Toronto. There's just no way on earth that he loses to Toronto.
I said they're gonna sweep him. Toronto's trash.
Sweep is crazy.
I knew it. I know it.
Sweep is insane.
And he did it in every single possible way possible.
No, he really did. Buzzer beaters, domination,
got called LeBronto.
LeBronto, That is just insane.
I think it was good for Candace Kennedy that they won the year after.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was bad. Because that was bad.
And then Boston say they might be okay if they beat Milwaukee because Golden State might not make it this year. Might.
Yeah, because they know that got Kevin Durant, so I think they'll be okay.
Right.
We'll play Phoenix. Denver, I'm actually very intrigued how that series goes.
They match up well. See, I think Denver wouldn't beat Milwaukee, even though they have success with them in the regular season,
which is so weird.
But Boston would have I think Boston and Denver, like that would be a very tough one.
I'm about to say, like it's weird.
It's weird, but I feel like in a playoff series, like there's like Jokic is not overwhelming.
Because in the West, it's so weird because like I don't know who's coming out.
I don't.
I can't give you a specific team because like every team has their problems.
Yeah, I literally do not know who's coming out the West. I do not know. I have to like East. I could be like, it's probably gonna be Boston.
It's be Boston. Milwaukee.
That's probably where I'm. That's
it's
where
one of them two.
One of them two. The West, I literally like. It's literally down from like 1 to like 10 or 11, where it's like they could probably make it.
Like it's gonna be like it depends on who gets hot.
That's pretty much it. Who has the hot hand?
We know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. For all we know, Sugar Alexander and all of them get dumb hot.
The way that
these
teams be playing each other throughout this entire season, it could happen, bro.
Like you just see an OKC
Could you make
Boston Finals.
Could you imagine just like Sacramento just outscores everybody?
They can.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. It just might be a Eastern Conference year. Like it just might be.
It might be. No, it's very possible.
Low key just might be an Eastern Conference year.
But
I wouldn't hate it. I'm being honest. I wouldn't hate it if Boston wins either. I kind of would. I wouldn't hate it either.
I only would just for the Laker fan in me because we just tied them.
I understand.
I don't want them to like.
I understand.
That's the only reason why. Because the players themselves, I like the players.
That's a very fair reason.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Because this is just history.
Pretty fucking much.
Yeah, it's just they are the op. Like
exactly.
They
pretty
just,
much. It's
like they just are. Like I get it. I definitely get it.
Like even though I'm gonna root for them, they're playing like the Clippers or the Suns because
I will most definitely root for Boston if that happens. If those two teams, yeah, I will most definitely root for Boston.
Because
I will most definitely those two teams specifically, I will most definitely root for Boston.
Yeah, they're playing by else,
especially with Phoenix.
Yeah,
especially with Phoenix. Yeah.
Actually, my root for Boston too if they somehow play Dallas. It's not gonna happen, but if they
I would root for Boston against Dallas too.
Because I'm sorry, I just hate the way Dallas play basketball. I'm sorry.
There's a lot.
I hate it.
Boston has a lot of players that I'm very fond of.
No, no, this players that I like from them.
They got
the team as a whole, I don't have a problem with.
Right.
It's just the history of the team itself.
Right. Like
judge my up. I'm a Lakers fan. I'll tell you.
Of course. Like
that's all what it is.
Like I like Brogdon. I like Horford. I like Derek White. Obviously, I like Brown. I love Brown.
Yeah,
to be honest, I love Jaylen Brown. I'm starting to like Tatum a lot more now, and yeah, pretty much like that team. Garrett Williams is like there. Like I don't care about him, but I like the team, and I like their coach too.
Missoula.
Yeah, Missoula too.
George Hill Shadowcon.
Yeah, yeah. So I would root for them. There's a lot of teams that I probably. It'd be interesting too. I would like for entertainment purposes. I would like to see like them play like Memphis.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be
because that would prove Dropman's point right.
Oh, he's fighting the West.
Yeah. And the only thing I worry about is Boston. He has to actually play Boston.
What'd be funny? Imagine they make it. Like he was right. Like they just make it.
That'd be funny.
That would be dumb fun. He'd be like, I told you.
And he said in this interview too.
Huh? He would say that too. He'd be like, did not tell you?
Did I tell you? And I went through trials and tribulations with my career, with my life. And still fighting the West.
Still. That would be funny.
Oh, I'm gonna die laughing. You're my favorite player too,
so
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I love John too.
I'm for it. I don't care. But anyways, that'll be all.
Yes, sir.
In this installment, be sure to subscribe to Sports Dynasty and Mafia Sports Report. March Madness continues today. The Knicks and Magic playing right now, and the Cavaliers and Knicks are playing right now.
Again.
Prayers for Yuta Watanabe for getting posterized by Mitchell. And recipes for Willis Reed, by the way.
Oh, recipes Willis Reed, another great. Oh,
one of our all-time greats. Yep. Take it from us, but hey, man.
Yep.
Time goes on.
Yes, sir.
Catch you on the next one.
Peace.